Oh man, we have a fantastic story today. Absolutely fantastic story today. So, a libertarian center, like a sort of like a think tank almost, where it's backed by the Koch brothers, the two ridiculously rich billionaires who flood the political system with so much money. And doesn't matter what side you're on, if they're Democrats or Republicans, I don't want anyone putting billions of dollars into the political system for their own personal agenda, no matter what. That should be done. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. Get that out of the way. But their policy, like think tank research group, did a study on Medicare for all, and they found out that over a 10-year period, the United States would save 2 trillion, with a T, trillion dollars over 10 years. This is a libertarian policy center backed by the Koch brothers, who absolutely do not want Medicare for all being passed. But here's the catch. So, if you see in the articles below, there's about I could have found 20 more, but there's about 5 or 6 articles from numerous publication sites. Here's what they're doing now. See, the figure for the government spending is 32.6 trillion, right? And that is a high estimate. They're assuming a couple of different things, that certain costs wouldn't be as reduced as much. And they're using that headline so Republicans just grab it and then use it to manipulate their base, or people who are skeptical about Medicare for all and the costs we have. And just another question right here. Whenever we want to help the poor or lower middle class people with programs, there's always, how are we going to pay for this? But when there's tax cuts for the rich, it's, oh, they'll pay for themselves. We don't ask those questions. When there's wars, oh, it'll pay for themselves. We have to do this. They don't ask that question. That's why we spent $5.4 trillion in the Middle East fighting wars that, do we see any progress? Is anyone gonna go? Is anyone's like friends gonna go to Iraq like in the next like couple of years and be like, oh my god, Iraq is so nice this time of year. It's actually like really nice. Like, no, it's never gonna happen. It's a shithole. It's because they've ruined and destabilized the entire region. Okay. But we never ask those questions when it comes to policies that would help the disenfranchised people, the powerless. But when it comes to tax cuts for the rich, oh yes, we have to do that. Yes, it's going to help and it's going to stimulate the economy, even though all the facts point to the other way. Just look at every major financial crash. 1929, 1987, 2008. I say this all the time. Give tax cuts to the richest people under the guise that it's going to trickle down to lower middle class people. Which is basically a conspiracy. Who would ever believe that? And then we're going to deregulate financial institutions, making it harder to monitor fraud so they can gamble your money and make a lot of money in a short time period, because they don't want to wait. They don't want to conservatively gamble with people's money. They want to do it in a fast time period and make money quickly. And the third thing is Republican president, and that's everything. That's basically the main story between every crash. So that might be a pattern, that might be just a coincidence, I don't know. But look at this. They're using that $32.6 trillion number to deceive people. So the government costs would go up, right? But total costs, because right now you can't monitor the costs through what everyone else pays. So premiums and copay cost would be almost eviscerated by everyone in the United States. 30 more million Americans would be insured. And the only thing is the government, your tax dollars would pay for your health care, right? And everyone would pay a specific tax percentage that would be lower than the actual premiums you pay now. And the premiums have spiked up because of the tax on Obamacare by the $10.6 billion in funding that Trump has cut off, or the advertising for it, or numerous Republican governors have rejected the Medicare for all, the federal spending from the governments to pay for it, and the premiums have gone up by I think 10 to 20%, and they turn around and say, "Oh, Obamacare sucks," when they sort of sabotage it. But they're using that $32.6 trillion number to say, hey, this policy is bad. look how much money it's spending. We can't ever afford this. But it's actually saving money in the long run. It's over a 10-year period, it saves $2 trillion at the very least. There's some studies with more, right? And it covers everyone. Out-of-pocket costs, premiums are gone. How can you argue that? But the reason that number is so high, it's because that's the cost of everyone. And then when we not compare healthcare costs right now are more as an individual, the government spending will go up, right? And our tax dollars will go to it. Instead of our tax dollars going to wars in the Middle East, or our tax dollars going to fucking new bombs, or building, we have $600 billion budget right now. That's more than the next 7 countries combined. Most of them are our allies. Instead of your tax dollars going to that bullshit, it can actually go to your healthcare, so you can afford healthcare. So you don't have to worry when you're sick. You don't have to live through this frightening state of mind. Am I going to get sick? Am I going to be able to afford healthcare? But they're going to use this number to attack it. I think Paul Ryan's already tweeted $32.6 trillion. Democrats want to blow up government spending, even though he just gave the rich billions in tax cut, hundreds of billions of dollars in tax cuts, and then blew up the deficit to $1.9 trillion over the next 10 years. He's going to turn around. He's going to tell you that what Democrats want to blow up the budget. Actually, this is saving money. This is saving money, and the reason that cost is so high is because the government's going to take on the cost instead of the entire American people, businesses, private citizens, insurance companies. We're the only country or modern country that doesn't negotiate healthcare prices or drug prices. How is that possible? Oh yeah, it's because they bought all the fucking politicians. So they don't have. So we're not going to negotiate at all. But that's crazy. That's insane. It's because we have a corrupt system where you can buy politicians and you get policies you want that benefit the very rich and that fuck over lower middle class people, and people want to make a profit like that. That's why we pay almost fucking ridiculous amounts for drugs made in here, while people in Canada pay way less for the same drugs made in America, and overseas the same thing. So again, get ready. They're going to use that $32.6 trillion number to attack. And that's just from a libertarian study. A libertarian study backed by the Koch brothers. By the way, the Koch brothers sound like a rap group, don't they? Koch boys about to drop an album? No, I don't know. They sound like a rap album. Koch brothers, the Koch boys, but they're actually horrible people. Yeah, Koch boys, the Koch brothers, but they're just, old white billionaires trying to destabilize our democracy and buy elections. That's why they put in $300 to $400 million per election cycle to buy candidates and policies that benefit them solely. But again, I want to make sure everyone realizes this. They're going to use that $32.6 trillion number, right, to attack the Medicare for all policy, and then leave out the fact that it costs $2 trillion less and it saves us a lot of money in the long run, and as well as leaving out the fact that, if the current system costs way more if we pay individuals, and the Medicare for all would actually cover 30 million more people. You wouldn't pay any premiums, any out-of-pocket costs. Boom! There you go. Everyone's insured. No one has to worry anymore. But they're going to use that $32.6 trillion number. They're going to use it. And they passed healthcare bills, or they tried to pass healthcare bills with 20% approval ratings, 17% approval ratings that kick off 20 million people off health insurance. And they're going to tell you, after they give the rich, they give the top 1% gets 83% benefits of this new tax cut. Corporations have their tax cuts slashed already when they weren't even paying taxes. Almost 10% they were paying, or 11% due to the loopholes. Now they might be paying like 5%, 0%. Who knows? Like Amazon paid no federal income tax. Zero. One of the biggest companies in the world. The richest guy in the world owns it. So be careful. Like I said again, it's probably the 10th time I said it, and I'll say it again. They're going to use that $32.6 trillion number to criticize this study because it's just a nice headline and it's working. People are posting that headline, oh my God, $32.6 trillion without the additional information. Oh well, it saves it saves $2 trillion over a 10-year period, and it costs less than the current system, and it covers 30 million more. How can you argue with that? You can't. So you have to build up a straw man so you can knock it down.